I don't know. I want to be the father that I never had. But sometimes it gets hard, man. You can probably hear him in the background. But if you got any advice for me, love you, man.
Oh, yeah, that loud one, that must be me. That must be me, bro. The loud one, the chatty one back there. The one back there selling dime bags or whatever, bro. Selling QP, bro. You know what I'm saying? Pushing weight. That's me. Bro, it's a thoughtful call to think about this, especially around Father's Day, just to think. Like, you know, I think what I would do, I would write down the stuff maybe that you feel like you didn't get, and then you'll kind of have your answers, I think. For me, I think some of it would have just been direction. It would have been like, maybe if my father would have put his hand on the back of my neck more. That's like a very fatherly son or parental type of thing. The back of the neck. And not looking at your children with judgment. You know, I was looked at with judgment a lot. Mostly judgment. In fact, probably 250% judgment. So that's how I learned that the only way to operate in the world was judgment. That was like the currency. You know, it was like, oh, I'm going to judge you. That's kind of how I showed affection, was through, oh, I'm going to judge you less. If that sounds, I mean, I don't know if that sounds real to anybody or not. You think that's real, Halston?
That's actually really interesting.
But yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, well, I think it makes perfect sense, because if somebody judges, the only look I see in a parent's eyes is judgment, then that's all I'm going to do of myself, and it's all I'm going to do probably of others, especially if it's like if there's like intimacy or just communication. So, yeah, that's what I did. And it's a survival skill that can help you a lot, because you're judging things. You get really good at judging this, judging that. You know what I'm saying? You get really good. But it'll keep you alone too. It can anyway. So, but blessings to you, bro. Happy Father's Day to you. And I'm just thinking out loud too, bro. I don't know any of this. I'm not a scientist. You know, but yeah. So, but blessings to you, bro. Tell little Theo I said, what's up, bro? Type shit. BLM. I'll see him in the streets, boy. Gang. Let me see what else we got here.
Hey, Theo, it's Mason. I just had a...
What's up, Mason? Thank you for calling, brother.
Question for you. You know, I kind of just wanted to see what you thought about it and what you...
You know, caught a little Wisconsin there, boy. You know. Or Illinois, maybe, onward.
The other day, I walked into a gas station, and there was a man who clearly had Down syndrome. He didn't look the oldest.
Oh, yeah, the ops.
And he was trying to buy some beer. And I kind of read the situation and knew what was going on. But the clerk actually, you could tell he didn't know what to do. And he kind of looked at it, and he actually turned to me like, sir, what do you think of this? And I don't know if I should feel bad, but I told him it looked good. And he sold to clearly underage man with Down syndrome alcohol. And I'm just wondering if I did the right thing, what you do in that situation. Thanks for you, Theo. Gang, gang.
Yeah, bro, of course, dude. If a guy has Down syndrome, give him a fucking drink. Give him a break, man. Cut his work hours a little bit. Like, yeah, dude, I remember when we were growing up, if a guy had Down syndrome, you give him a beer. You bring him. You'd even get some beer from inside. If your dad wouldn't give you a whole can, you'd come and just give him and just let him just drink it out of your hands, brother. Like, you got to support people. You know, people with Down syndrome love to drink beer because I think it has sugar in a lot of it's sugar based. Why do Down syndrome people love beer? Oh, it just shows a picture of Ireland. So County Cork specifically. But dude, it's like, I believe, look, if somebody has Down syndrome and if they might have it or whatever, I think you got to let them drink, bro. That's the type of place I'm from. You know, I almost had it. I was on the ropes. And I think you got to let people cook if they have it. And yeah, dude, when I was growing up, we had a guy who had, I don't know what he had. He had something pretty strong, and we'd give him